take you back now to the Eastern Cape, the launch of Action SA in the Eastern Cape with the Action SA provincial chairperson for that province, Athol Trollip. Athol, good afternoon to you and thanks for your time. What kind of event are you planning for tomorrow?
Stephen, we're planning a big rally kind of event. We've got people from Action SA coming from all parts of the province, from as far as Bizana and Sterkspruit and part Buffalo City, Makanda and Nelson Mandela Bay. We've also amazingly had people come down from Gauteng, from Rustenburg, Cape Town, KwaZulu-Natal to come and support us, which is really amazing. It's been one of the phenomenons that I've experienced in Action SA in the last 3 months, is that we're a new organization and volunteerism and enthusiasm is really high on the agenda and people are here to support us. So I'm very excited about having Herman Mashaba and some of our national colleagues here, but much more excited about bringing our Action SA activists together in one place to talk about what our objective is towards 2024.
So, I mean, I hear the enthusiasm, but I mean, you are starting a party really from scratch in the Eastern Cape. Action SA, its base has been in Gauteng, various reasons for that around Herman Mashaba, for example. Do you believe you're going to be able to get a strong support base from virtually nothing in the Eastern Cape?
Well, we obviously, understand that we're brand new. Our objective is 2024, so we've got 2 years to prepare for the next election. We're really inspired by the fact that after less than a year, Action SA was able to contest 6 municipalities in the last local government election, 6 out of over 270. And we were in government in all 6 of those municipalities, and we're the 6th biggest party in South Africa. So we take inspiration from that. We also know that the Eastern Cape is on its knees as far as governance is concerned and service delivery. So people are really thirsty for change here. And my experience in the last 3 months is that we'll be well ready by 2024.
And there's a by-election, I believe, coming up in that area. I mean, if you win that by-election, you might well find yourselves in an interesting position considering the balance of power in Nelson Mandela Bay at the moment.
Yeah, that's an incredible objective of ours, is to bring some stability to that coalition, which is really just a mess. I mean, yesterday I was reading about the opposition parties hoping to put a coalition together, and I've just heard that they've called those talks off. But the real issue is that in KwaNobuhle in Ward 43, where we're going to contest for the first time outside of Gauteng, the ANC councillor and the ANC branch treasurer were both killed execution style or assassination style in the middle of the day. And that used to be a phenomenon that was, probably the exclusive preserve for KZN, but we're seeing that on a weekly basis here in the Eastern Cape. So political assassinations in the ANC are starting to become commonplace. And we believe that we can win that by-election. KwaNobuhle is in Uitenhage or in Kariga, and that is one of the first areas in Nelson Mandela Bay that will run out of water in the next 2 to 4 weeks. And once you run out of water, life becomes almost impossible, especially for people who live on the periphery of a metro city who already feel neglected. So we believe that there's much to mobilize around for our success in this by-election campaign. And the prize, of course, would be to bring an additional seat to a potential new coalition government that would give that coalition government an outright majority to govern the city well.
We know that the leader of Action SA, your party, Herman Mashaba, has always said that his party will never, ever be in a coalition with the ANC. If you were to then join a coalition in Nelson Mandela Bay, it will obviously have to involve the Democratic Alliance, your former party. Are you prepared to work with them?
Absolutely. We already work with the Democratic Alliance and a number of other political parties across the country in those 6 municipalities where we share governments. We will most certainly work with a coalition with the DA, and we will give our seat to that orientated coalition with other parties that are not part of the ANC coalition mess. And I say it's a mess, Stephen, because I keep wanting to go back to this water thing. The one thing that the ANC has proven is that they'll break anything. And they have broken the infrastructure of Nelson Mandela Bay by ignoring mundane maintenance, maintenance of infrastructure. And they are notoriously bad at maintaining unseen or underground infrastructure, such as water infrastructure. And in Nelson Mandela Bay, we've been blissfully unaware or uncaring about the fact that we lose up to 46% of our water from non-revenue losses, which means water leaks or stolen water. So, it's just incredible that we're about to face day zero in approximately half of the city. And there's no plan, there's no daily plan that is scheduled from projected day zero back to prevent that happening. And just recently it was brought to our attention that the municipality didn't spend disaster drought relief funding that had been allocated by the national government. And now we hear the national government are going to intervene. Well, I tell you, it's too late. Unless it rains, and unless it rains very heavily over the next 2 weeks, it doesn't matter who's going to be looking after the water in Nelson Mandela Bay. We're going to run out of water in half of the city.
So what do we do when that happens, Athol? I mean, there's no easy solution, I realize that. There's no quick solution, I realize that too. What can be done?
Well, there's a blessing sort of in disguise that the city won't run out of water completely, because there's an augmentation process from the Charib, Fish River water provision scheme through the Nooitgedag treatment works. So half of the city will have water. They have drilled a lot of boreholes, and they are busy building new reticulation to reticulate the water from the Nooitgedag scheme to the rest of the city. But what the city is going to be faced with, and the residents of Kariga and Panabu, is that they're going to be faced with dry taps, and they're going to be queuing for water tankers with their buckets. And it's become commonplace now that where the ANC governs, the greatest corruption takes place in water provision, where tankers are provided and cadres are given the contracts to supply the water with their tankers, and then they don't supply the water, and the people stand in longer and longer queues. But the tenders are given out, and the people enjoy the benefit of having tenders given to them because they're close to the ruling party. So I can foresee really grave circumstances with people having to stand and queue for water, and that will always result in increased temperatures and shorter fuses, and we can have water unrest, which is going to be really, really unpleasant for the people of Nelson Mandela Bay. And once again, it's the ANC that is neglected to fulfill their responsibility to make sure that there's potable water in all the taps of a metro city.
Athol Trollip, thank you very much indeed. The chair of Action SA in the Eastern Cape. That launch happening tomorrow. The water crisis, unfortunately, unfolding in Nelson Mandela Bay.